and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. This is a little space I like to carve out where I like to share tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, anecdotes, stories, spaces where I can just share things that have helped me in my life or my coaching clients move the needle, even if it's 1 degree at a time, because progress is progress is progress, right? Move that needle to new levels of healthy and happy, whatever that means for where we are and who we are right now in our lives. Woo-hoo! So it is February and we are focusing on love, and specifically we're focusing on love right here, because when we learn to love here, first and foremost, we give differently, we show up differently, we operate differently, we have different relationships, right? I found that just from paying attention, when I meet people who have a low level of love for themselves, they have a high level of acceptance of nonsense in unhealthy relationships. And then the scale kind of does that, right? So if you have a higher level of love and understanding for yourself, you have a low level of tolerance for BS in relationships. And you will not tolerate unhealthy dynamics for very long because you love yourself too much. So it is really important that we love ourselves, change the standard, change the dynamic and the paradigm, and thereby require almost for people to level up. And I don't like the idea of saying the words level up, but really, it's the only way I can think to explain it right now, right? So the more that I love myself, the less BS I tolerate from people that aren't in my circles, right? And it's not a judgmental, I'm not going to tolerate your BS. It's, I see you clearly and we're operating from different paradigms. So I'm going to be over here living my best life and you could stay over there gossiping and doing whatever you're doing. For me, that's unhealthy for who I am. So I'm going to be over here doing me, right? And I'm not giving you room or surrendering any of my 2 most valuable resources, which is my time and energy, to you, to play that game and to do that thing, because I've been there, did that, got a t-shirt, gave it back. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, no thank you. You stay over there. I'm going to be over here living my best life and attracting like-minded people who are going to continue to encourage and inspire each other to grow, to evolve, to expand, right? So low levels of love for ourselves, high levels of BS tolerance. And then the paradigm, the spectrum shifts depending on where we are. So it is essential that if we want healthier relationships, we get healthier. If we want less dysfunction, we have to be more functional, right? So it has to begin with us. All things begin and end here. All things begin and end here. All things begin and end here. Boom. Okay. So last week I talked a little bit about understanding why it's important to love ourselves and then how to begin that process. This week, I want to share with you 3 tools or 3 techniques or 3, whatever you want to call them, that really helps us create a practice of self-love. Right? And these are not complex. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You just have to commit to the work, and you have to commit to doing it, and you have to commit to doing it like wholeheartedly, right? Because if you do it just to do it and go through the motions, that could be, I'm not gonna lie to you, that could be beneficial because it develops a sense of discipline, which is really important, because a lot of people say, I need motivation. I'm like, no, boo, what you lack is discipline. That's very different than motivation. And discipline will always, if it's a continuous practice, it will always outshine the need for motivation. You'll just get up and go do it because you know you have to, because you're disciplined to do it. So there is something really essential and powerful and important about discipline. So I don't want you to get me confused. What I am saying, though, is I don't want you to just go through the motions without allowing yourself to drop in and feel something shift. Even if it's a teeny tiny little baby shift, it's a shift. Because progress is progress is progress is progress. And a lot of times people are expecting these huge quantum leaps, but that's not how it happens. It happens like this. And then we catch up. And then like, and then we catch up. And then sometimes it goes like, right? So it doesn't do that. It generally doesn't. And sometimes people will say to me, oh, I had a quantum leap because I was doing this practice for a long time. And then one day I woke up and it just hit me. then honey, you didn't have a quantum leap because you just said you were doing this practice for a long time. And then it integrated in a way that felt like a quantum leap, but it was the continuous work that made it happen, right? It reminds me of working out. They say like for the first 4 to 6 weeks that you're working out, you're going to feel good on the inside. You'll feel different, but you're not going to see any changes. And then once you kind of break through that plateau of about 6 weeks, you look at yourself in the mirror and like, is that a bicep muscle? Okay. Wait, did I just cough and I saw a little ab muscle? It takes some time. Your body's not quantum leaping. It's building from the inside up and up and up and up until it hits the surface, right? Same thing. So we want to make sure that we're creating practices that are easy enough that we can feel the reality of them creating a shift, even if it's internally. And we're going to miss the mark and we're going to slip back, and it's going to happen because we're trying to undo and rewrite old programming that we've probably been living in for a really long time. So please be kind to yourself. But when we put these into practice, they can become really beneficial. So the first thing is gratitude. It's always my go-to. I literally wake up in the morning, and before I get out of bed, I smile. I know it sounds silly. I don't care. I smile, and I think of 10 things that I'm grateful for before I even get out my bed, right? And then as I drive my daughter to school, she does 10 things she's grateful for. I do 10 things I'm grateful for. One of the things that I realized in doing gratitude practices for so long is there was a missing component for me. And when I realized that I wasn't doing personal gratitude for myself, right? So part of my self-love, loving myself, returning to practicing that work was, what am I grateful for about me? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, my traits, my personality, my characteristics. What am I grateful for about me? So when you first start doing this, a lot of people, because you've probably been told your whole life, you don't get to say that about yourself, that's conceited, or like, who do you think you are? Or that question right there. Or you think you're better than the rest of us? A lot of times we hear that old program, that tape play over, so we don't want to say out loud, I'm good at this. Or I'm funny, or I'm pretty, or I have nice eyes. I like my body. Right? People don't want to say it out loud because there's so many people who will roll their eyes or have something negative to say. So we just either keep it to ourselves, or we really convince ourselves that we have no right to say it and it's not real. Well, what it does is it disconnects us from acknowledging the things about us that are magical, that are amazing, right? So what is it about yourself that you're grateful for? You can spew them off. That's great. I always recommend writing them down though, because when we write it down, we make it real. And we can see ourselves writing down things about ourselves that we are appreciative of, that we're grateful for, that we're thankful for. I'm thankful that I have 20/20 vision. Yup. I'm going to write that down. I'm grateful for the fact that I have arms that function. They hug. I'm grateful for my fingers because I use them a lot to type and to do stuff and to cook. I'm grateful that I have hands that function, right? That's like stuff about your body. Go really basic and general in your appreciation for yourself, gratitude, and then build up from there. If you look at yourself and you can't say, I'm grateful that I'm attractive, or I'm grateful that I love my body, I'm grateful for, go basic. I'm grateful that I have a body and it functions. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Because the more we practice appreciation, the more that appreciation will grow into love, right? You've probably heard the saying, what we appreciate appreciates. So first thing that I want to share is do that. Practice gratitude for yourself, for your body. And the second thing is affirmations. I have talked about affirmations and I will continue to talk about affirmations. When I give big speaking gigs, I always end in affirmations because it's really important for us to remind ourselves that words are really powerful. So when you have an opportunity, you should be saying nice things to yourself about yourself. Even if you look at a situation that you messed up or you made a mistake, say to yourself, instead of like, oh my God, I'm so dumb, you say, I am human. And as such, I made an error. And I am capable of learning from that error so I can continue to grow, learn new things, evolve, and come back better, smarter, stronger, evolved, right? What are the words that you're using to describe yourself? When you use affirmations, they should be I am statements that are positive, that are present, and that are first person, right? So I am capable, I am. Now, sometimes people will say, it's really hard for me to say I am intelligent, even though you are. You are intelligent. If you've ever solved a problem, if you've ever overcome a challenge, if you've ever had to be resourceful, you are intelligent. Without intelligence, you would not have been able to handle or manage that, be it your whole life, right? So you are intelligent, but a lot of times people have a hard time saying those direct, positive, affirmative statements about themselves. So what I recommend is that if you have a hard time saying I am intelligent and you feel like you're over here, the way that we create a bridge is by saying, I am learning that I am intelligent, or I am remembering that I am intelligent. Something that helps create a bridge. And it's usually I am learning or I am remembering, right? Because it helps create a bridge from where we are to where we want to be. And then eventually, the more that we practice saying that, then we get to a point where we're like, wait a second, I really am intelligent. I am. And my intelligence doesn't have to look like anyone else's. And it doesn't have to be about math and science, although it can be. It could be about anything. There are so many facets of intelligence. I have some of them, right? I am intelligent. And then finally, the third thing that I would recommend when we're doing the work and developing practices is writing love letters to ourselves. And some people are like, what are you saying right now? I know. Write yourself a love letter from yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? If you last week made the decision that you are going to learn how to get back to this place of returning to love for you and all of this magic, if you committed to that, then you can write this letter. And it doesn't have to be really long. It's a future self letter to your current self. And it's just basically like, hey, boo, I love you. And we might not have always practiced loving ourselves, but we got here. And we might not have always told ourselves how amazing we are, but that is the truth. We are amazing. And we're going to get there, right? So it's a way for you to kind of step into the future, which you create with your current and present actions. It's a way for you to step into the future, look back and say, yeah, I can do this work. And this is where my end goal is, to feel this way about myself. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are extraordinary. Write this letter of all the things that you want to hear and need to hear about yourself from the future version of you, right? So that's my suggestion. And it's those three things. First, practice gratitude daily for yourself, your personality, your quirks, your intelligence, your creativity, your body. Practice gratitude daily for yourself. Again, you can spew them out loud. Absolutely. You can also write them down. Have a little section of a notebook or a journal or just a piece of paper where you put the date and you think about 3 things about yourself that you're grateful for. And again, you can start basic. Fingers, hands, arms. Done. And why are you grateful for those things, right? Second thing, and this should be a daily practice. All of these should be a daily practice. The second thing is affirm yourself. Use affirmations. Speak life into your life. Say things to yourself like, I am learning to, or I am intelligent. I am capable. I am resourceful. I am learning to love myself again. That should be one. My favorite affirmation is I am enough. 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 It is so hard for so many people, especially women of color, to say out loud, I am enough. I am enough. And to really let yourself sit with that, right? Again, these affirmations you should be doing every day. Either you take a couple of days to just build them, and then you just repeat them every morning as you're brushing your teeth, as you're using the bathroom. I'm being for real, right? Post them in your bathroom, whatever it takes to repeat them every day and start changing the story about who you decided that you are, what you're grateful for about yourself. And then write that love letter sometime during this week before next week, because I have something new for you for next week. And when you write that love letter, read it every day. Read it every day and just remind yourself like, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve to look at myself through the eyes of love first and foremost, so that I can look at others through the eyes of love and not at them through desperation and this constant need to be needed or to be seen or to be valued. I see myself. I value myself. I love myself. So then everything outside of me becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Okay. So that's all I have for you. If you benefited from this, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you know someone who can benefit from this, please share it, right? I mean, sharing is caring, period. share it. And if you need a coach, if you're looking for a life coach, hit me up. And if you're looking for a speaker for your next conference event, or I do personal and professional growth and development training for companies and leadership spaces and events and teams. So if you're looking for that, you can hit me up as well. Head on over to my website, mariamilagros.net, and then you can speak on coaching if that's what you're looking for, or speaking if that's what you're looking for. I'm sending you light and love, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope that this was helpful and that you are being intentional about how you're showing up for yourself. Peace.